Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm taking you on a super exciting journey to Belgorod, the first city in Russia to receive the epic title of City of Military Glory. Super intense, right? Well, I'm about to tell you why, so stay tuned and enjoy the video. Let's go! Well friends, many of you encouraged me to visit Belgorod in the comment section of the videos from other cities I visited. Although it didn't happen as soon as I had planned, I'm here in this beautiful modern city, ready to explore and share my experiences with you. Upon arrival at the station, I was greeted by a monument dedicated to Army General Joseph Radionovich Apanasenko. This general played a crucial role in the liberation of Belgorod during the Battle of Kursk and tragically passed away on August 5, 1943. Let's take a step back in time to the late 16th century. In 1596, Tsar Fyodor Ioannovich ordered the construction of a fortress that would later become the city of Belgorod. The fortress faced a setback in 1612 when it was captured and burned by Poles and Lithuanians. Despite this setback, the decision was made to restore the citadel. At the beginning of the 18th century, after the annexation of the Novorossiysk territory to Russia and the construction of the Ukrainian defensive line, Belgorod's strategic importance diminished. From March 1, 1727 to May 23, 1777, Belgorod served as the center of the Belgorod province, encompassing cities like Oryol and Kharkov. After the abolition of the province, Belgorod became a county town of the Kursk province. In 1917, the Soviet Union established power in Belgorod. Following the signing of the Brest Peace in 1918, Belgorod became part of the Ukrainian state of Hetman Skoropadsky. However, this period was short-lived as the Hetman was overthrown and the Red Army entered the city. In December 1922, Belgorod officially became part of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic. Belgorod, a city steeped in history and brimming with unique charm, holds a fascinating past. In May 1928, it became the center of the Belgorod district within the central Chernozem region. Later, in June 1934, it was incorporated into the Kursk region. During the World War II, Belgorod and its surrounding areas witnessed intense battles. The city endured 2 occupations by the German forces from October 1941 to February 1943, and again from March to August 1943. These hardships left the city in ruins, with almost all its historical architecture destroyed. On August 5, 1943, Belgorod was liberated from Nazi invaders, marking a turning point in its history. In January 1954, the Belgorod region was established, and Belgorod was rightfully chosen as its capital. On April 27, 2007, Belgorod was honored with the prestigious title of City of Military Glory by the Russian Federation. The origin of Belgorod's name is intriguing. It is derived from 2 words, white and city. There are 2 main interpretations of this name. The first theory suggests that Belgorod is named after a fortress with white stone walls. The second theory proposes that the name is connected to the Chalk Mountain, where Belgorod is situated. As I strolled through the streets of Belgorod, I couldn't help but be struck by the vibrant energy and unique features. One striking aspect that caught my attention was the city's extensive use of paving slabs on its pedestrian paths, parking lots, squares, sidewalks, and even some roadways. This is a novel sight for me, and I later discovered that Belgorod is often unofficially referred to as the capital of paving slabs. Belgorod's history is a testament to its resilience and enduring spirit. From its early days as a district center to its status as a regional capital, Belgorod has consistently demonstrated its ability to adapt and thrive. While walking along Civil Avenue, I passed the local administration and headed to the Cathedral of the Smolensk icon of the Mother of God. The cathedral was built in honor of the omen from the Smolensk Blessed Virgin Mary's icon that occurred in 1703. According to legend, on the night of October 1st to 2nd, a sentry named Methodius Ivanov witnessed a bright light emanating from the image of the Smolensk Blessed Virgin Mary, which was located at the city gate. This event promoted the construction of a chapel on the site in 1703, followed by a wooden church in 1705 and the stone cathedral in 1727. The cathedral's construction spanned 27 years. The first floor was consecrated in 1747, while the second floor was consecrated in 1763. During the Great Patriotic War, the cathedral sustained significant damage from artillery fire. There are two attempts to destroy the cathedral. In 1958, an explosion occurred, but the cathedral survived, albeit with some damage. In 1974, another attempt was made, but the intervention of a nearby school prevented the cathedral's destruction. After the explosion, several bricks fell from the cathedral, but the school promptly went into an emergency state, rendering further demolition impossible. The building was then fenced off, and a spontaneous dump was formed behind it. In the 1980s, restoration efforts began, with the intention of transforming the cathedral into an organ hall. A remarkable feat was achieved by removing 763 cars of garbage from the surrounding area. On June 11, 1996, the cathedral was consecrated by Bishop John of Belgorod and Starooskolski. Prior to this, the bells rang for the first time on the newly rebuilt bell tower on Holy Thursday in 1995. I find it astonishing that the building constructed in the early 18th century, which endured artillery strikes and two attempts to undermine it, still stands today. This remarkable feat instills deep respect for the architects and builders of that era. Continuing my journey along Civil Avenue, I passed the City Court building and crossed the road at the Construction College. Belgorod is home to numerous concrete shelters, and one of them caught my attention as I walked. The cheerful tile beneath my feet brought a sense of comfort. On the other side of the avenue, I found myself at a relatively young museum dedicated to a folk culture. Established in 1999, it occupies the premises of the former club, Builder, which had fallen into disrepair at the time. Within 3 years, the building underwent a meticulous restoration, and extensive efforts were made to collect exhibits for the museum. Today, visitors can immerse themselves in the rich folk culture of the Belgorod region within its walls. Just a block away, I crossed Popov Street and arrived at the heart of Belgorod, now known as Cathedral Square. Originally named Revolution Square until 2004, this square holds historical significance. According to the plan approved by Empress Catherine II on April 26, 1768, the square was known as Big due to its expansive size, surpassing the current square. The nativity of the Theotokos convent once stood on this square. After the October Revolution, an orphanage was established within the monastery's building. Later, some of the structures were repurposed as housing for workers, and the area came to be known as the Workers' Town. In the 1950s, these buildings were demolished, and in 1962, the regional drama theater named after Mikhail Semyonovich Shepkin was erected in their place. The Belgorod Theater, established in 1936, played a significant role during the World War II. Its artists bravely performed on the front lines and in hospitals. In 1941, the troupe was evacuated to Uzbekistan and returned to Belgorod in 1944. In 1956, the theater was renamed after the renowned Russian actor Mikhail Semyonovich Shepkin. Later, in 1962, the actors moved into a new theater building that still stands today. The theater's architecture reflects the style of 1950s theater buildings, embodying Soviet classicism. It's a 4-story rectangular structure with a portico adorned with 8 columns and a narrow pediment. The building culminates in a sculptural representation of the Muse Melpomene. A semicircular extension with an arcade extends from the south. The theater building holds cultural significance for the people of Russia, particularly in this region. and is protected by the state. On the left side of the theater's entrance stands the chapel dedicated to the Holy Prince Vladimir, also known as the Apostles. This chapel was unveiled in 2015, commemorating the 20th anniversary of the revival of the Belgorod and Starospolsky dioceses. The project was meticulously designed by the chief architect of the Belgorod and Starospolsky diocese, Nina Svetkova. She blended Russian and Byzantine architectural styles in the chapel's design. The building, crafted from white marble, boasts a golden dome atop it. Above the main entrance lies a stained glass window depicting Prince Vladimir. The chapel temple houses venerable shrines, including the Kazan and Iverskaya icon Mother of God, dating back approximately 200 years. On the right side stands a grand monument to Mikhail Semyonovich Shchepkin, a native of Belgorod. The theater bears his name, interestingly, not only in Belgorod but also in the capital city. This monument was erected in 1988 to commemorate the actor's 200th birthday. It was initially installed at the Smolensk Cathedral but later relocated to the theater, which seems quite fitting. On the main square, another iconic symbol of Belgorod graces the landscape, a hotel bearing the same name. The foundation of this hotel was laid in 1954. Prior to its construction, a post office building stood on this site until the mid-1930s. Tragically, during the Great Patriotic War, a devastating enemy bomb struck the building, leaving behind a single skeleton. By the time the hotel's construction commenced, Lenin Square, featuring lush green spaces, occupied the area. The construction of the Belgorod Hotel was completed by the beginning of 1956. Later, in October 1959, construction commenced on an extension to the hotel from its northern side, a 4-story brick building. For several decades, the Belgorod Hotel remained largely unchanged, serving as a prominent landmark in the city's skyline. However, in the second half of the 1990s, the hotel went under a significant reconstruction project. The main changes involved merging two multi-layered sections of the building, creating an angular composition with colonnades. The spherical dome, with a spire resembling a lion and an eagle, the city's coat of arms, was added to the exterior. Additionally, a substantial portion of the stucco decoration was removed. The Belgorod Hotel Complex, a modern 4-star hotel with 110 comfortable rooms, stands in the heart of the city. From the Cathedral Square, visitors can easily access Narodny Boulevard, where they will be greeted with the iconic Eternal Flame Memorial. This poignant monument commemorates the massive grave of the Soviet power fighters who lost their lives in Belgorod between 1918 and 1919, as well as the soldiers who fell during the World War II while fighting against the Nazi invaders. The memorial, unveiled in 1959, serves as a poignant reminder of the region's history and the sacrifices made by its people. Returning to the square, visitors will notice the colorful tiles adorning its walls. In the center of the square, amidst the vibrant tiles, lies a symbolic centerpiece, a medallion. This intricate piece, framed by 16 rays, embodies the region's identity and history. The medallion's upper left hemisphere features a stylized coat of arms of the Belgorod region. An eagle perched atop a reclining lion symbolizes the region's victory over the Swedes in the pivotal Battle of Poltava, fought by the Belgorod regiments as part of the Russian troops. The lower parts of the medallion represents a map of the region, with the boundaries of the district marked by dots. The compass in the upper hemisphere and the outline of the region's territory, 27.7 thousand square kilometers, further enhance the medallion's significance. 3 smaller medals, each with a diameter of 72 millimeters, are nestled beneath the map. The left medal depicts a laurel wreath, a symbol of glory, while the right medal showcases an oak, representing courage. The central medal honors the liberation of Belgorod from the Nazi invaders. Notably, the medallion is precisely oriented in the cardinal directions and positioned on the center line of the square. Its weight, approximately 300 kilograms, adds to its grandeur and significance. Beyond the hotel and the drama theater, the city square also houses the regional government building, formerly known as the House of Soviets. This architectural landmark stands as a testament to the region's past and its enduring legacy. It was built between 1955 and 1957 following the standard project House of Soviets by the Leningrad State Republican Institute. Imagine such a sample for administrative buildings in the USSR, as similar houses can be found in Lipetsk, Veliki Novgorod, Oryol, Penza, Shakhty, Balashov, and Cherkasy. This exemplifies typical Stalinist architecture of that era. After leaving Cathedral Square, I turned onto Popova Street, strolling for a few blocks before reaching Preobrazhenskaya Street. There, I was intrigued by several objects. The first one that caught my attention was the Socio-Theological Faculty of Belgorod State University. It had settled in a historic building constructed in 1879 for the men's classical gymnasium, named after His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh. Yes, you had that right, my friends. After the October Revolution, the building was occupied by Red Army soldiers. During the Great Patriotic War, it served as a military hospital within its walls. From 1954 to 1957, it belonged to the Belgorod Regional Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. On January 11, 2003, the grand opening ceremony of the reconstructed building of the Social and Theological Faculty of Belgorod State University took place. Opposite the building stands the main cathedral of the Belgorod Diocese, Spaso-Preobrazhensky Cathedral. The Transfiguration Cathedral, built on the site of a dilapidated wooden church, succeeded the even more luxurious Trinity Church, which was destroyed during the Soviet era. In August 1813, following the patriotic surge after the French expulsion from Russia, the cathedral was consecrated with 5 thrones. Now 3 remain. One for the Transfiguration of the Lord, another for the mare-bearing wives, and a third for the prophet Elijah. In the mid-1930s, the Soviet government closed the cathedral. Looting of the church began soon after the revolution, with seizures of church valuables occurring in 1922 during the All-Russian campaign Help for the Hungry. Despite the relentless aggression of atheists, the church endured until 1934, when it was finally closed and transferred to a regimental club. For 8 years, it stood without singing. In 1942, the German command allowed the resumption of worship services. During the fighting in Belgorod, the church building sustained damage from shells that landed inside, yet it remained operational even after the liberation from the Nazis. However, in 1962, the cathedral was once again closed and transferred to the Regional Museum of Local Lore. In 1990, divine service was initiated in the Ilinsky Chapel. The cathedral was fully restored to the church in July 1991. In September 1991, the relics of St. Joseph, the Wonder Worker, Bishop of Belgorod, were transferred to the Transfiguration Cathedral. Prior to that, they had been resting in the Holy Trinity Cathedral in Belgorod from December 1920 until their return to the city. During that period, the Bolsheviks had opened the relics and sent them to Moscow, then to Leningrad, where they were housed in the Kazan Cathedral, which at that time served as a museum of religion and atheism. 8 years after the Orthodox Church canonized St. Joseph of Belgorod, his relics finally returned to his hometown. The cathedral also houses 2 miraculous icons, the Mother of God of Pechanskaya, dating back to the time of St. Joseph's life, and the miraculous icon of St. Nicholas, also known as Nicholas of the Army. After thoroughly exploring the cathedral, I moved to the Victory Park along the same Popov Street. When Belgorod was awarded the prestigious Order of the Patriotic War of the First Degree, a commemorative 12-meter stele of 2 monolithic triangles was installed at the entrance to the park. This stele is complemented by a bayonet from a 15-meter-high 3-line rifle. Belgorod holds the distinction of being the first city in Russia to receive the honorary status of City of Military Glory. During the World War II, Belgorod was repeatedly occupied by Nazi invaders. On July 12, 1943, the largest tank battle in history took place near the city. Belgorod was liberated on August 5, 1943, and that day marked the first victory salute, hence the city's title as the City of the First Salute. A cultural composition titled Victory stands in the central alley of the park. It holds regional significance and was created in 1983, commemorating the 40th anniversary of the Battle of Kursk and Belgorod's liberation from Nazi occupation. The artist was the renowned Soviet and Russian sculptor, honored artist of the Russian Federation, Valentin Shorhakin. The composition depicts a woman frozen in copper, holding a developing banner in her left hand and a small bouquet of flowers in her right. A young soldier with a machine gun raises it, while an elderly officer stands beside them, holding a weapon and a raincoat tent. The sculpture rests on a hexagonal pedestal adorned with a red granite tiles. After taking a brief break in a nearby shelter, I ventured further into the park. I decided to cross the river and explore the other side, which is aptly named Veselka. On the other side, I found myself in the Square of Love, where I was greeted by the rotunda of Peter and Fevronia. This rotunda was inaugurated in the summer of 2013. According to legend, Prince Peter of Muron fell deeply in love with the peasant Fevronia. However, the boyars disapproved of the unequal marriage. Despite their opposition, the lovers chose to prioritize family life over the princely throne. Their union exemplifies the ideal Christian matrimony. Behind the sculptures adorning the walls of the rotunda, there are plaques bearing the vows exchanged by the bride and groom. The square boasts iron-forged arches and trees, upon whose branches couples entwine ribbons and locks, symbolizing their affection and commitment. Tradition holds that newlyweds and perhaps even lovers fasten locks in this square as a tangible manifestation of their love and loyalty. Well, friends, I may have slightly exaggerated my abilities and embarked on a cardio run up an endless ladder. Please be patient as I overcome this obstacle. After a long climb, I reached a sculpture of a girl. Initially, I couldn't decipher her actions, but then I realized she was launching soap bubbles. While I'm not certain of the sculptor's intended message, it evoked a sense of nostalgia for my carefree childhood. It was a beautiful composition. My ascent continues with a few more flights of stairs, a long passageway, and I finally arrived at the next symbol of Belgorod, the monument of the Holy Prince Vladimir, comparable to the Apostles. The monument was created by sculptor Vyacheslav Kilikov and architect Vitaly Pertsev. It was unveiled on August 4, 1998, on the eve of the 55th anniversary of Belgorod's liberation from the German troops and the 2000th anniversary of the Nativity of Christ. Standing at 22.5 meters tall, the monument comprises 3 tiers. The first tier features 4 six-figure reliefs, totaling 24 figures. These reliefs depict Russian princes, revered warriors, and even figures of Christ accompanied by archangels and apostles. The second tier consists of 3 single-figure reliefs, each depicting Saint Seraphim of Sarov, Yosef of Belgorod, and Emperor Nicholas II. The figure of Prince Vladimir himself resides on the third tier. The idea for the monument originated from some local historians who suggested that Prince Vladimir founded the first settlements of the present-day territory of Belgorod. However, there is no concrete documentary evidence to support this claim. The monument is situated in a picturesque location near the observation deck. As I approached, I was rewarded with a breathtaking view of the city. Continuing my journey, I found myself back on the same road. Fortunately, this time it descended. I soon arrived at an intriguing place, a diorama museum dedicated to the Battle of Kursk. This museum is a treasure trove of exhibits housing over 14,000 unique artifacts, including weapons, awards, personal belongings, and documents of the battle's participants. Visitors can immerse themselves in the history of the battle by watching the documentary and journalistic film on Scorched Earth in the museum's cinema hall. But the museum's crown jewel is the Fire Arc diorama. This magnificent canvas, spanning an impressive 1,005 square meters, transports visitors to the pivotal Battle of Kursk Bulge. The intricate details and scale of the diorama allow for an extended exploration and study of each element. After leaving the museum, I found myself in the museum square. There, I encountered a rather uninspiring fountain, likely dormant for the season. and a monument dedicated to Belgorod residents who lost their lives in the war in Afghanistan. A striking white cube with arches and a cross surrounded by bells stands as a poignant reminder of the fallen. The walls of the cube bear memorial plaques bearing the names of the deceased soldiers. Just a stone throw away, another monument honors 65 Belgorod residents who lost their lives in local conflicts. This monument, unveiled in 2014, serves as a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made by the community. The museum square aptly reflects the presence of several Belgorod museums, each contributing to the rich cultural heritage of the region. Among them is the Belgorod State Museum of Local Lore, one of the oldest cultural institutions in the area. Established on October 25, 1924, it initially operated as a branch of the Kursk Provincial Museum. During the Great Patriotic War, the museum faced significant challenges and all its funds were destroyed and looted by the fascist occupiers. However, it resumed its operation in August 5, 1948, determined to preserve and share the region's cultural heritage. In 1964, the city's Museum of Local Lore gained the status of a regional museum. On October the 22nd, 1973, it opened to the public in the former Transfiguration Cathedral building. However, in 1991, the cathedral was returned to the diocese and the museum relocated to a new building. Just across the street from the Museum of Local Lore, you will find another museum. Yes, you guessed it, another museum. The Belgorod State Art Museum was opened on July 26, 1983 and has since been housed in the former Orion Cinema building. On December 12, 2004, the Belgorod region government approved the construction of an art gallery. The new three-story Art Nouveau building was completed in 2006 to 2007, designed by architects Pertsev and Turchenko. The museum officially opened its new building on November 27, 2007. The collection began with a generous gift of 245 paintings from a widow of the Belgorod native artist Mikhail Nikolaevich Dobronravov. By the time the museum opened, it already housed approximately 400 paintings in its unique and eye-catching building. After leaving the theater square, I wandered through the streets of Belgorod, simply exploring and enjoying the city's atmosphere. I found myself drawn to its architecture, cleanliness, and even the ubiquitous tiles that seemed to perfectly complement the city's charm. I strolled past the medical college, admiring the intriguing mural adorning its wall. A few blocks later, I found myself at the monument dedicated to the legendary tankman, Andrei Popov, after whom the street bears its name. Continuing my journey, I turned onto Narodny Boulevard, where I was greeted with a delightful sight. The street paved with colorful tiles and adorned with intricate ornaments. It's no wonder Belgorod is known as the capital of paving slabs. I noticed the imposing building of the girls' gymnasium, constructed in 1904 in the classic style. During the World War II, from 1941 to 1943, this building served as a hospital for senior German officers. After the city's liberation, Soviet soldiers and officers found refuge within its walls. In 1957, the former girls' gymnasium underwent a renovation and was transformed into a secondary school. Another renovation took place in 2008, and today, the Belgorod Lyceum resides within its walls. Amidst the buildings, a striking monument stands tall, symbolizing the significance of education. A teacher stands at a desk, while a student dreams in the background, surrounded by a blackboard and letters. This heartwarming composition evokes fond memories for everyone who encounters it. The monument invites visitors to sit at the child's desk and capture a playful photo. However, I couldn't help but wonder if the sculptor's intention was to convey this image or if it was merely the result of vandalism. As I continued my walk, I couldn't help but imagine the delightful ambience of this alley in the springtime. It will be a cozy and inviting place to stroll. But what of the absence of a monument dedicated to Lenin? The statue of the leader of the proletariat, which had previously graced Cathedral Square, was relocated on March 12, 2013. In its place, a stele titled City of Military Glory was installed. The statue of Lenin had been unveiled on Cathedral Square in 1957, a testament to the sculptor Georgy Vasilievich Neroda's remarkable work. The updated sculpture of Lenin was included in the cultural program Open Air Museum. The residents of Belgorod themselves determined the new location for the sculpture of Lenin. To achieve this, local authorities organized a survey including over 140,000 citizens, and a majority favored Narodny Boulevard. Next, I was captivated by an unusual sculpture of a floating woman. It turned out to be Nika, the goddess of victory, symbolizing the victory of Belgorod in the battle against the Third Reich. The sculpture was installed during the celebration of the 70th anniversary of the city's liberation from Nazi invaders. Nika truly hovers over the city, holding a laurel bouquet in her hand. Narodny Boulevard was a treasure trove of monuments and sculptures. I encountered another remarkable one, the monument of the first governor, Yuri Trubetskoy. The bronze bust was unveiled on August 2, 2012, and it depicts Prince Trubetskoy holding the coat of arms of the Belgorod region in his hands. Prince Yuri Yurovich Trubetskoy served as a governor for 3 years and was remembered for his skillful and energetic leadership of the region. At the end of the boulevard, I found another beautiful monument dedicated to Tsar Fyodor Yuanovich. The monument was opened on August 5, 2016, which coincided with the 420th anniversary of Belgorod's founding. The city owes its existence to Tsar Fyodor Yuanovich, as his decree led to the construction of the Belgorod fortress. The sculptor, honored artist of Russia Alexander Lokhtachov, created a sculpture depicting a sovereign seated on a throne, holding symbols of power in his hands. The king gazes into the distance, his right hand outstretched with a scepter, as if concealing his left hand with a symbol representing the state. Some critics argue that the image of the sovereign lacks accuracy, deviating from detailed historical accounts that portray the Tsar as extremely meek and pious. However, I must admit that my knowledge of ancient Russian history is limited, so I can't fully assess this claim. Upon initial glance, the figure on the chair appears confident rather than meek. As a simple observer, I found the monument intriguing due to its intricate details and unusual shape. The resemblance of the Tsar is not particularly important to me. On August 6, 2009, a memorial sign was erected beside the Tsar to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the Battle of Poltava. The composition consists of a bronze medallion with a diameter of 76 centimeters and a weight of 200 kg. The banner on the regiment is engraved on the medallion, featuring a soaring eagle and a lying lion. These animals symbolize the bravery, strength, greatness, foresight, and the power of the Belgorod warriors. To the right of the banner, a portrait of Emperor Peter I is depicted, while soldiers and artillery pieces are shown on the left and below, respectively. The year of the Battle of Poltava and the dates of the monument's openings are also inscribed on the medallion. The medallion is mounted on a massive 10-ton stone pedestal, which was brought from Staryovskol. Across the street stands the magnificent Belgorod Philharmonic. Founded on December 15, 1966, it was established by transforming the previously existing Variety and Concert Bureau into the Belgorod Regional Philharmonic. In the 1970s, pop music groups emerged and a music lecture hall for school children was established. Renowned musicians graced Belgorod with their presence during tours, including Sviatoslav Richa, Mstislav Rostropovich, Viktor Tretyakov, Viktor Pikyazin, and Boris Shtokolov. The 1980s witnessed the rise of talented soloists, both instrumentals and vocalists, who joined the Philharmonic. This period witnessed the development of a pop music direction, with the establishment of the VIA Festival led by Maxim Dunaevsky. In 1993, the Symphony Orchestra was formed, marking the largest collective in Belgorod's musical landscape. The Philharmonic was further recognized in 1995 when it was awarded the status of a state philharmonic. Since 2004, the Philharmonic has resided in its own building, the former Railway Workers' Recreation Center, located on Belgorod's Polka Street. This spacious hall accommodates 508 spectators, replacing the Oval Hall 350 seats in the Regional Administration Building, which had previously served as the main concert venue. Today, the Philharmonic holds a prominent position in the cultural life of the region. Our journey through Belgorod hasn't come to an end, but I suggest we take a break and meet again in the second part of this exploration. In the meantime, I kindly request that you like this video and subscribe to the channel to ensure you don't miss any future content. See you again soon. Goodbye.